What's going on, everybody? I'm Fearless, and today we are making Super Trap from scratch in Ableton, also known as Alien Trap. I've been making these beats non-stop for the last week or so, and I got some crazy stuff to show you today. So if you guys are ready, let's jump right into this. So let's jump into this sample. The first thing I've picked out here is a pluck in Heat Up 3, and I've just been using Heat Up 3 so much lately because all the sounds are super high quality. So this probably looks more complex than it actually is. So if we just go ahead and turn off this second part, you can see it's just one thing repeating over and over again every single bar. Now what I did is I started by just going up a couple notes. So let me go ahead and solo all this stuff. From there, I went ahead and copied this first note right here, which is going to be our root note, down one octave just to give it more depth. And then added in a couple other notes right here just to give it almost like a bass line, just to give it some rhythm. So this is what we got now. Sounding good. From there, I just went ahead and added another note here that is in our scale, and that's going to go ahead and complete the chord. Not a triad, but a biad. No, I just made that up completely. And from there, I just went ahead and added in one extra note just to kind of finish off this one bar piece. And then from here, all I had to do was copy this over and change up a few notes. I took these three notes right here and I pitched them up an octave. Then I added this note right in here, which is a D sharp, the same as our root note, just to give it a little extra bounce. And then the last thing was just adding this little thing back in here that we had on our first round. And that sounds great and all, but I want to kind of mess it up and make it even crazier. So I went ahead and threw a pull roll on here, and I used this preset called Stoner that just made it sound so much better. This is from the Actum bank right here. The next thing I did was I added a halftime to it as well, and I actually thought that the quarter note worked best because I really only wanted this halftime to serve as the bass notes. Now, if I would have put it on one bar, it would have just completely changed it. You can see it kind of slowed down the melody, but I want to keep that original vibe to it still. So what I did is I put it on this quarter note right here, turned the mix up 100%, and I made it into an audio effect track. So I went ahead, and all you have to do is press Command-G or Control-G on Windows while you have halftime selected. And then I went ahead and clicked create a chain right here, and that's going to create another layer like you can see right here. So I have one layer with halftime and another layer with nothing on it. And that way I have both of them playing like two separate layers. And the last thing I do is I put this volume former on here as well because it was starting to get like really crazy. So this kind of helps bring it back to a rhythm. Lastly, for this melody, I freeze and flattened it, and then I went ahead and reversed it and chopped it up a little bit, and this is what it sounds like now. One last thing I ended up doing was pitching it down 4 semitones because I thought it sounded way better versus this. We did this. Now, when I started learning about these beats, a lot of times I saw people use acapellas to kind of sit with their melody just to give them that undertone and vibe. I went ahead and got this one called Stop Breathing from Playboi Carti, and I've actually had this one for a long time. I made a remix of that beat. So I ended up dragging this in here, and I found just a chunk of it that I liked. One thing that you'll probably have to do is use these time warp markers to get it to sit on beat. So what you can do is you can go ahead and turn your clicker on right here and make sure to warp this. And what you can do is you can click on any spot where it needs to be pulled forward or backwards, make a marker, and I can pull it back or forward to fit on the grid even better. So this is quite a bit ahead right here. So I might take this spot and pull it back right there. So I went ahead and pitched this down 10 semitones. You're going to have to play with this so that it fits with the key that your sample that you made is in. And this is what we got now with our melody. What I want to do next is add some ambient and atmosphere to this, make it sound really dark. I found this serum pad right here, and this is what it sounds like. And with our pad, we're just having it play on B. I also found this evolving pad in Analog Labs called Tremousse. I also found this orchestral drum loop, and it gives us some of those stomp sort of effects. And I kind of just chopped it up and looped some of those textures right there. Sounds really, really cool. I found another pad in Heat Up 3 called Glass. Lastly, we got a bass here, and Analog Labs has some crazy synth basses, so don't sleep on these. There's a ton of dope ones. We found this one called Double F Bass. So if you want to render out the full sample, this is some sauce on that. You can take an audio track right here. We can change this to resampling. And what it's going to do is it's going to listen to everything that's playing, and you can record right from there. So we're going to go ahead and arm this. And then we're going to go ahead and start from the beginning, and we're going to press record. Cutting out the lows for the 808. Let's move on to the drums. We're going to start with the 808. I went ahead and found this 808 right here. This is Crushed 808-1. I basically took a SPINZ and put that crush effect on it, and it's from our Lost Treasure drum kit. Now, I know this 808 pattern may seem a little complex. It really is. Now, let me show you all the stuff I did. The 808 needs to be crazy in these sort of beats, so you got to go as crazy as you can while still making it sound good. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get your bounce down. And what we did here... So we started with that little bit of bounce, right? You want to get your initial pattern down just to start making it. And then from there, you can add the different rolls and glides and different things like that. So that's the initial bounce that we started with. And then obviously we put some notes up an octave, some notes down. We did some triplets here. I always use triplet notes. So what you can do is you can put this on narrow in your adaptive grid, and then you can turn on triplet grid here. And what that's going to do is the more you zoom in here, the smaller these notes are going to appear. It's going to allow you to do it really easily. So you can see just doing a couple triplet rolls right here or there, going up a couple different notes, making sure to be in key of the sample that we're using. That's the main thing. So you can see I pretty much took this pattern right here, copied it over. I just took a couple notes up a little bit, and then I repeated that, then adding small little triplet rolls here or there. Let's get into some of the juicy stuff though. We got some crazy glides going on, and Ableton has a really crazy way of doing these glides. So yeah, sure, I could go over into my 808 here, go into the controls and turn glides on, but we're doing something even more advanced than that. So if we go back into our 808 MIDI here, we can actually go over to our note expression. And yeah, this is where all the sauce is at, my friend. So as you can see on this note, it's starting off and then it dips down to a lower octave, okay? And then it shoots back up. Let's hear that. And then once you make your line, what you can do is you can hold down Option or Alt on Windows, and then you can get this little circle button right there, which is gonna allow you to actually make it more or less bent right there, more or less of a curve instead of having a straight line. On this next one, we're starting low and then we're going up high. So we're doing different things here. We're going lower and then we're going higher in octaves. And I'm always going in increments of 12 here. And then you can see a little bit later, we're doing another one here where I'm taking this note and I'm just dropping it down 2 octaves. We're doing a huge drop on this one. And that makes the biggest difference. And what you can see is I copied this same pattern over here to this one as well. Even though the patterns are a little bit different, the spots that I copy and pasted them are the same, as you can see. You thought that was it for the 808s? Nah, we went even crazier. I put an Effectrix on here and I just played around with stuff until it started to sound good. There is no formula to this, okay? I just played with all the different things, and one thing that is just so dope about Effectrix is when you start stacking the different effects on top of each other, that's when you can come up with some crazy shit. Next is the kick, and I went back to the Lost Treasure drum kit. I got this P kick right here. Next, we got to get into the snares, and I went ahead and started with the Filet-O-Fish snare, and this is actually from the Blizzard Storm drum kit. One thing that can help transition these beats is having a snare and then switching up to a different sounding snare. So that's what we're going to do in our case right here. And once again, going back to the Blizzard Storm drum kit, we're using the Snafu snare right here. So I went ahead and picked out the Miami open hat right here. Next thing is the lasers. You know you gotta have lasers in these types of beats. So I ended up soloing this little section right here under the Glockley hats. It's an FX sound from a drum kit. Guys, and if you need some laser sounds, I put all the best ones that I could find together in a pack, and I'm giving it to you guys for free. You can just click the link below. It's the Lasers FX pack, and then you get like all of these. And really all I'm doing is turning on triplet grid again here, and we're just doing triplet notes, right? We're doing some slower triplets, faster triplets, and then we're layering some of them a little bit higher, like with this one's not layered at the beginning, but this one is, and it gives it a little more of that top end, right? Like we said. As you can see, for instance, with this section right here, we're starting up a little bit higher and then going all the way down. Same with these right here. You can see every 3 notes are kind of stacking down a little bit further. Next is the hi-hat, and I picked out this Eternity hi-hat right here from the Blizzard Storm drum kit. We also added Effectrix to the hi-hats, and you can see we're doing a little bit of reversing here towards the beginning. We're using delay quite a bit here, and then a vinyl, which is like a vinyl scratch out towards the end of the bar here, the 4 bars. Let's see what this sounds like. Next, we're grabbing the Holy Shit snare right here, and this one just works so nicely for snare rolls. And this roll comes in on the second part of the drop here as well with everything else that introduces. Yeah, and this is the Metaverse Riser from the Lost Treasure drum kit. Last thing we did is we put a crash symbol on the start of each of the 8-bar loops right here. And this right here is the obviously crash. Next thing we're going to do is create the infamous reversed startup sort of a sound that you hear on these beats all the time. I've actually stumbled across a really great way to do this that I'm excited to share with you guys. But really quick, I want to let you know that if you're interested, we just made a VIP audio hacker program, and we're going to have an extended video about this beat in particular. So we're going to show you how we mixed it and all of the nitty-gritties and stuff that we didn't have time to talk about today. You're also going to get the project file and all of this stuff included as well, so you can actually open it up in Ableton and play with it as well. But that doesn't even begin to cover what's in this program. So if any of that sounds interesting to you whatsoever, I want to invite you to just take a look at the landing page and see if it's a good fit for you. We have everything listed on there so you can see exactly what you're getting and what's included in the program, and we'd love to have you become a member. Now let's get back into this video. The first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to export a chunk of our beat here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn off the riser and the crash really quick because I don't want that to be in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and select this first chunk of our beat right here. Next, I'm going to go up to File and I'm going to click Export Audio Video, and we're just going to export just that chunk of this beat really quick on our desktop. And the best way to do it is to grab this free plugin called Waves Cassette Transport. There's also one called like D-Blue as well, but that does not work on Mac, unfortunately, so this is the next best thing right here. And what you can do is you can actually turn this on free instead of sync, and it allows you to control the time, so we can turn the time all the way up and we can make it as long as possible. So now when we go ahead and press this stop button right here, it's going to give us that effect we want. And I'm also going to go ahead and turn this play down here quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and press record, and we're going to press stop right when it goes off. Ready? Okay, now we can go ahead and delete this track, and now we're just left with this one. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this to no input. And from here, we can just reverse the clip. We're going to listen to this final beat on the outro, but I want to thank you guys so much for watching this far. If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button. It helps us out so much. And subscribe to the channel if you're new here, because we're uploading videos like this every single week in Ableton to help you get better at making beats.